Hello everybody, Lutcher for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new deck profile. This time around it is Destiny Heroes, and oh my god, I am so happy that I finally get to do this. I love this deck so much. I love Destiny Heroes. It's one of my favorite archetypes, and I am just so incredibly happy that we finally got new support for the archetype. It helps the deck so much. It speeds it up incredibly, and heck, it just is really fun. Now, I don't think it's tier or anything, but it's a really fun casual deck, just simply to play with your friends, or heck, if you're bored and want to try something new at locals. Destiny Heroes is definitely a fun little deck to try out. Okay, so here's the deck profile. First and foremost, 3 Malicious. Malicious is easily one of the best Destiny heroes, just being able to banish them from your graveyard, spell summon another copy from your deck. Really good card. I don't have to really explain why he's a good card. Everybody knows why he's a good card. Next up, Destiny Hero Drill Dark. Destiny Hero Drill Dark is one of the new ones, and he is one of the reasons why the deck has sped up so much. Whenever he is normal or special summoned, you can summon any other Destiny Hero from your hand with attack less than or equal to his own. Really good card. He also does piercing, which a lot of people are wondering, like, why does he do piercing? Well, he's covered in drills. Kind of makes sense. Really good card. My biggest issue with him is that you can't summon, like, you can't summon any hero. That's one of my biggest issues, but I also don't really care because it really does help out the deck. Next up, 3 Destiny Hero Diamond Dude. Everybody knows what Diamond Dude does. He's arguably one of the other really good Destiny heroes. You just once per turn reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a normal spell, goes to grave, and you can activate it for free next turn. If I still had my Pot of Desires, I would totally be playing 2 because that gets around a 10 cost banishing. So really good. If you have Desires, I highly recommend playing it in here, but I had to sell mine a while ago, so yeah. But anyways, really good guy, really good card, absolutely necessary at 3. Next up, the only non-Destiny hero monster we're playing, triple Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. What can I say? It's the current best replacement for Stratos. Whenever it goes to grave, search out a hero monster, and if it's special summon, you can grab a Mask Chains card, which is really cool. This card's only going to get better whenever we get Deadly Guy, because Deadly Guy requires a Destiny Hero plus Dark Effect monster, so you literally just activate Poly, use this and a Destiny Hero to go into, and it just speeds up the deck even more. It's crazy once we get Deadly Guy. This next card, I actually really hated at first, but after testing it, I've really grown to like it, and that is D-Cubed. This is my replacement for Scapegoat. You can easily also play Scapegoat, but I like this card over Scapegoat for a number of reasons. So what D-Cube does is whenever it's normal summoned or special summoned, you can treat it as a Destiny hero. Or sorry, I believe it only works whenever it's normal summoned. And then once per turn, you can discard up to 2 cards, and then special summon any number of D-Cubes equal to the number of cards you discarded from your hand, deck, or grave. Really good card. It's totally just made to summon out Dogma and Plasma. You can even discard D-Cubes in hand and summon them from your graveyard. I've done that before. You don't really lose very much. And heck, if you discard Shadow Mist, you'll get her effect to search. Really good card for the deck. I've grown to like this a lot more than Scapegoat, just simply because with Scapegoat, you gotta wait a whole turn before you can use it, and even then, you gotta have exactly 4 spaces open or more, you know? So you gotta really be careful about when you use it and when you wanna use it. Now that being said though, Scapegoat still has its advantages over this card. For one, Scapegoat is a spell card. It can't be effect favored or breakthrough skilled or any of that. And secondly, Scapegoat can be used a lot more defensively, just as it can be used offensively for summoning Dogma or Plasma. But I still like D-Cube because it's a lot faster. It gets Shadow Mist and Grave. It gets Malicious and Grave, forgot his name for a second there. It gets your Destiny heroes in your graveyard, and they like being in the graveyard. And so that's one of the reasons why I like D-Cubed over Scapegoat. Now then, for the 2 ofs, I have 2 Dogma. I cut them down to 2. I think I was playing 3 in my old build from like 2014. I can't remember. That was literally forever ago. And Dogma, he's really good, but he's just completely outclassed by his partner, Plasma. But however, he's still really good. He's 3,400. He needs a Destiny hero as one of the tribute fodder, but however, the other 2 can be anything. Really good monster. During your opponent's standby phase after he was summoned, and it cuts your opponent's life points in half. That can really put your opponent at a disadvantage, especially if you summon him like turn 1 or something. I don't recommend doing that, honestly, but you can if you really want to get a life point lead against your opponent. Then, of course, there's his partner who's infinitely better, Destiny Hero Plasma. Plasma has basically the same summoning condition as Dogma, and while it's out on the field, your opponent's monster effects are negated. Well, on their field, not in their hand and stuff. And then once per turn, you can target a monster your opponent controls, equip it onto it as well, the equip spell, and then he gains half that monster's attack power. Really good card overall. Very powerful and scary. If I had a third, I would probably consider cutting Dogma to 1 and playing a third of this guy. But also, I really like playing 2 and 2, just so I can see them both equally amounts, because they are both really good cards. Next up is a guy that I really want to put at 3, but I can't find the room, and that is Dynatag. So Destiny Hero Dynatag, he's a hand trap, which is really cool. I think it's one of only 2 Destiny Heroes that are hand traps, and basically during your first turn, when you would take battle damage, you can discard him. You take no battle damage from that battle, and then both players take 1,000 damage. Additionally, if he's in your graveyard, you can banish him, target a Destiny Hero on your field. It gains 1,000 attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. The really, really cool thing about this guy is that he can tie the game and he can win you the game. It is so cool. I like this guy a lot. He saved my butt a bunch of times, just being able to negate that last bit of damage that my opponent's trying to go in for game. Like, let's say I'm at 3,000 life points, I'm doing against Blue Eyes, they attack, discard this guy. I take 2,000. Well, no, I don't take any, and then I take 1,000. My opponent takes 1,000. The interesting thing is that this is one of the few cards left in the game that can cause a tie. Normally, Konami does not like ties, so they normally try to avoid that, and it's just really interesting that they made this thing be able to do that. Next up, Destiny Hero Celestial. We finally got this card. I wanted this card so bad ever since I saw him in GX, and they improved him immensely from the GX variant. So in GX, he couldn't be special summoned, and he had some weird other effect, but however, they fixed that. So what he does in real life is whenever he attacks, you get to destroy one's face-up spell card your opponent controls. So continuous field spells, and pendulum zones, well, pendulum cards for instance. And if he's in your graveyard, you can banish him from your graveyard and another Destiny Hero if you have no cards in your hand, and then you get to draw 2 cards. Really good card, and I forgot to mention that whenever he destroys a spell card, he does burn damage to your opponent. And the cool thing is they got rid of the no special summoning thing on him. I don't know why they had that on him in the anime. It made no sense. Next up, Destiny Hero Decider. This card would be so much better if either of his effects, I don't care which, were not once per duel. Okay, so he has 3 effects, 2 of which you can only use once per duel, meaning that this guy's usability is drastically limited. So while he's out on the field, your opponent cannot attack him with level 6 or higher monsters, which you would not be, like, you would be very surprised how much that comes up, actually. And then his other 2 effects, which can only be used once per duel, is during the turn that he was normal summoned or special summoned, during the end phase, you can return 1 hero monster from your graveyard to your hand, and then the other effect is if he's in your graveyard and you would take effect damage, you can make it to where you take no effect damage and then return him from your graveyard to your hand. So he kind of loops himself and works with Dynatag in that way. Very good card. His usability was just drastically limited by Konami putting that once per duel effect on him. Very annoying. Next up, 2 Destiny Hero Dark Angel. I've been debating between 1 and 2 of this guy, but I really like 2 just so I see him more often. Basically, he's another hand trap Destiny Hero. You can, well, not really hand trap, but kind of, sort of, not really. During your turn, you can discard him if you have 3 or more Destiny Heroes in your graveyard. Target 1 Destiny Hero in your graveyard. Special summon it in defense position to your opponent's side of the field, which is hilarious. If you special summon Defender to your opponent's side of the field, then you get to draw during each of your, then you get to draw 2 cards during each of your turns. The downside, of course, so that you're giving your opponent a level 4, and almost everything's rank 4. So yeah. But however, of course, he can give himself to your opponent. And the cool thing about if you do that is that the controller of this card has all of their spell cards negated. So if you're doing against a pendulum heavy deck, or you're doing against spell books or any other spell card oriented deck, and you just want to screw him over real hard, discard himself, target himself, give him to your opponent. They got a level 1 with 0 attack, 0 defense they can't do crap with, and also all their spell cards are negated. And then of course he has an in-graveyard effect, and basically that is if he's in your graveyard during your standby phase, you can banish him and another Destiny hero to put one normal spell card on top of your deck. Your opponent gets one too. Now then, on to the one-ofs. One Destiny hero, Dasher. I really like him. He's very, very helpful. I love his graveyard effect. Just being able to search off a mass chains if I happen to draw into a Shadow Mist. Really, really good card overall. But you only really need one, is the thing. And even then, you can probably cut him out if you really want to. I just really like him. And also have an ultimate rare, and it's pretty. One Destiny Hero Defender. There were so many times where I'm going against somebody, and they won't attack my face-down monsters because they're scared of attacking into this guy. Okay, 2,700 defense for a level 4 is like unheard of, except for him. And the only other guy that I can think of that has anything close is Big Shield Gardner. Now, the downside to this guy is that during each of your opponent's standby phases, if I remember correctly, I believe so, yeah. If this card is in face-up defense position during your opponent's standby phase, your opponent draws one card. Now, of course, as I mentioned, he combos with Dark Angel in that you can discard him, target Defender, give him to your opponent, he'll be in defense, and then during your standby phase, you'll get to draw a card. Now, the downside is you have to wait a whole turn. Your opponent will probably stick him in attack mode unless you have a big board and they don't want to take a crap ton of damage. And also, Defender is level 4, so yeah, he's like, everybody can just, okay, go into Utopia or something, you know? You're making it easier for your opponent. But, however, if you're doing against something like a BA or something, that really can screw them over. So, very, very, very good card overall. You can also really pull a lot of mind tricks, as I said, with the whole your opponent won't attack your defense position monsters. And then finally for the last monster, one Doomlord. Now, he's in here for two reasons. Firstly, as a target for a spell card that we'll get to later. And secondly, because his effect is still really good. Being able to target one monster your opponent controls, banish it, and then it doesn't come back for 2 turns is really, really helpful. It's just non-destruction, one-for-one getting rid of a monster. Removal, that's what I'm looking for. Really, really good card. I like him a lot. The downside, of course, is you can't attack during the turn you use his effect, but oh well. Now then, for the spell cards. Triple D draw. I think that's kind of sort of obligatory. Very, very, very good card. You discard a Destiny Hero, draw 2 cards. Don't really have to explain that. Triple Polymerization, because this is a fusion-oriented deck now, which I'm having kind of sort of mixed opinions on, because that was like one of the things I did not want Konami to do, but however they did it anyways, so I don't know. I do like the new fusions though, especially once we get Deadly Guy. He's going to be really, really good. Triple Allure, everything's dark. More draw power for the win. Triple Mass Chains, everything's dark and they're heroes. You can go into Dark Law with everything in this deck except for D-Cubed, and even then you can do it if you normal summon D-Cubed and it becomes treated as a Destiny Hero. Really, really good card in this deck. Very, very, very helpful, very, very good, and of course Dark Law is just a beast on his own right. 2 over Destiny. This is the card I was mentioning earlier when I talked about the target for Doomlord. So basically, whenever you activate this card, you target a Destiny Hero in your graveyard. Special summon 1 Destiny Hero from your deck with a level less than or equal to half that monster's level. So Doomlord is a really good target for that, because you target Malicious, you target Dasher, target all those level 6 monsters, and you special summon them from your graveyard. And then of course, if you have Dogma or Plasma, you can special summon level 4 from your deck. Very, very, very helpful card. It helps with the spamming and everything. Double Twin Twister, everything likes being in a graveyard, so you just discard something, destroy 2 spell trap cards. Very, very, very good. And then 1 Rhoda, because everybody's a warrior, except for DQ, who's a machine. So, yeah. Now, that's the main deck. Yeah, no traps. I couldn't fit any in. This deck is already, what, like 48 cards or something like that. So, yeah. And of course, as I said, if I still had Pot of Desires, I would literally just play them in here, because you have enough cards so you don't care about the banishing part. And even then, if you reveal it for a Diamond Dude, you get the free draw too, which is really, really, really good. Now then, for the extra deck, I first and foremost have 2 Destiny Hero Dystopia. I was debating heavily between 2 and 3 of this guy, but I decided to go with 2 because he's really helpful in the sense of what you're fusing with more than what you're actually going into. So let's be real here. Dystopia's not that great of a boss monster. Whenever he's fusion summoned, he just needs 2 Destiny Heroes. You target a level 4 or lower Destiny Hero in your graveyard, your opponent takes damage equal to that monster's attack power. Okay, really cool. Burn damage is very helpful. He's 2800 beat stick, and once per turn, if his attack is different from his normal attack, you get to target a card on the field and destroy it. The big issue with that is, aside from Dyne attack, this deck has no attack and defense manipulation whatsoever. It makes literally no sense why they would introduce attack and defense manipulation into an archetype that has never had anything to do with it. Heck, this archetype has always been about having effects that influence time and stuff. But no, for some reason they decided to introduce attack and defense manipulation for this new age of Destiny Heroes. And even then, we didn't get most of the cards that Aster used in Arc V to manipulate the attack and defense. Granted though, Arc V still has a few sets left, so who knows, we might get more of them. I don't know. I really do hope that we get the upgraded version of this guy, the Utopia guy. He's like big gold and everything. He's really, really cool and has a lot better of effect. But you still need to play this guy to go into him, which kind of sucks. Next up, 2 Darklaw. I would be playing 3 if I had 3, and I can't find a 3rd, so I'm stuck with 2. Really, really good card. I don't really need to explain that. Then, of course, 1 Masked Hero Anki for that 3rd mass change target. Anki's just really good. He's a beat stick, very helpful, and being able to attack directly and all that. 1 Fission Hero Trinity, okay? I am still angry that Konami's not giving us the entire Fission Hero archetype, but hey, whatever. So Fission Hero Trinity, and I'm also just going to show them here, Fission Hero Adoration as well, are both really, really good boss monsters for this deck. Trinity needs 3 hero monsters to go into. That sounds like a huge cost investment, but for Destiny Heroes, it's not really, because all of your Destiny Heroes want to be in the graveyard, except for Dogma and Plasma, so you're just fueling your graveyard for more stuff and shenanigans later on. And also, whenever he is fusion summoned, he becomes double his attack points. He's 5,000, and also he can attack 3 times in the battle phase, but he cannot attack directly. That's the big downside to him, is that he cannot attack directly. But, however, he can just completely wipe your opponent's board, which is really, really good. Then, of course, Adoration is amazing as well. Once per turn, by the way, he just needs 2 heroes to go into. Once per turn, target a hero you control other than himself, target a monster your opponent controls, reduce your opponent's monster by the attack of the hero you targeted. Very, very helpful. Destiny Heroes are notorious for having low attack power outside of Dogma, so this card just really, really helps getting over big stuff. 1 Star Venom Fusion Dragon, because this card is amazing in just about every dark deck, and I love him. He's easily one of my favorite fusions now. 1 Destiny Indragoon. I was playing 2, but I come down to 1 because I really didn't go into him very much. He's incredibly good. He's the original Focusaurus. And honestly, with Fusion Recycling Plan coming out in, what, like a month or so, I can't wait to build a new version of Destiny Dragoon Turbo and also Rainbow Neos Turbo and just all these other Turbo decks. It's going to be really awesome. This guy is just really, really good. I love him a lot. Okay, and then that's all the fusions. On to the XCs. 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Castel, 1 101, you know, standard stuff. 1 Utopia Prime, and then 1 Utopia the Lightning. Very basic rank 4 stuff here. I just went with the standard removal, standard graveyard negation, and of course good old Utopia the Lightning, just for being able to get rid of big stuff. So guys, that is the deck profile. Tell me what you guys think. Any recommendations, any ideas for the deck, please leave your comments down below. I may not always reply to your comments, but I do read your comments. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And see you all later. Peace out.